Somalis have officially taken over the city of Minneapolis. I used to call Minneapolis Little Somalia in jest, but it's not a joke. It is the official statement coming from the city's mayor. And
on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, the city of Minneapolis had a mayoral debate between incumbent mayor Jacob Frey and a newcomer, a young guy by the name of Omar Fateh. Now, Omar Fateh is a Somalian American, and he's Somalian through and through. So much to the point that when he is speaking to his crowd, he doesn't speak in English. He speaks in Somalian. And a lot of people are upset about it.
Here's my question. This is a Somalian man running for office in an American city, waving a Somalian flag, speaking Somalian to Somalians, telling them to vote for him, pledging loyalty to Somalia. Why isn't he in Somalia? Seriously, instead of advocating for importing tens of thousands of these people into the United States, why don't you just go live there if you love it so much?
Now, the Somalian community has been in Minnesota for, I don't know, about the last 30 to 40 years. And depending on who you ask, people sometimes love them or hate them. On one hand, the Somalians are, to some people, abrasive. They bring their customs there. They bring their mosques there. They want to change the system to fit them. And then other people believe that Somalians have helped stabilize Minnesota. They have businesses. They are in the agricultural and processing industry, and also healthcare. Somalians have added to the state of Minnesota in ways that other people have not. And because they are there, they are a net positive on the state of Minnesota. Let's just be honest. That's the truth. But you see, there is an issue, and the issue was that Omar Fateh didn't win. He almost won, but he didn't win. And one of the reasons why he didn't win wasn't because of just the whites. It was because of the Somalian community.
And, you know, I looked up the drama. Matt Walsh actually posted this stuff about what was going on as far as the interplay of the Somali community. Apparently, there's two major clans, and Ilhan Omar and Omar Fateh, they're part of, like, was it I don't even know how to say the name of this thing. I forgot. It's part of one clan. And then Jacob Frey, he decided to go get the other Somalis help from that other clan. And they pushed him over the top. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I was right. Like, he is white. Because only a white guy would do this to you. Like, just go into, like, the indigenous community, like the natives there, and be like, how do I split these two groups of people? I will play between their tribal divisions, and I'll get one side and play against the other side. Even learn their language. He's, like, dancing like them. No, seriously, well done to Jacob Frey.
Now, this is interesting because Mr. Jacob Frey is Jewish, all right? Now, as you guys would probably guess, Somalians who are Muslim and somebody who is Jewish usually will not get along. All right. We already know the history behind that. And, you know, you could call some of these people, at least certain Jews would consider certain Somalians anti-Semitic. So what ended up happening was that Jacob Frey needed to win this election, but there are two clans amongst Somalians in Minnesota. And one clan doesn't like the other. So what he did is, for one clan, he got them to support him while the other clan was supporting Omar Fateh. And now once this happened and Omar Fateh lost, you have this politician who's Somalian, very controversial, a lady by the name of Ilhan Omar. Okay, so this lady is in the same clan of Omar Fateh, the guy who lost, all right? And she is going to send out this really devastating message to the Somalian communities who are traitors.
qofka Soomaaliga ah waa qof cadow sare ah. Dadkaas oo kaleetana magaaladayna nool dhex nool yihiin. Waan aragnaa anagoo dhan. Qaar waxa jiro aan dhahno qofkan wuu iska hadlaa. Micno ma leh. Kanina adeerkay waaye biliis waxa dhihin. Waxa laga yaabaa ka fishaabiyaalkeen waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaayo. Starbucks ka la fadhiistiin maybe masaajidka marmar inuu imaadana laga yaabaa. Xafladaha isla tagtiin. waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaa inuu guriga la deganahay waa aragtiin dadkaas iska qabta meel ma gaarin anaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay inta dadkaas ay nagu dhex jiraan oo aanan dhehaynin qofkaanay tii hana dhaafo dadka aan difaacna annaga kuwa annaga rabo maalin ilaahay keeno in xabsina la geliyo maalin ilaahay keeno been naga abuuro maalin ilaahay keeno videoyaal af Soomaali aan dhihin soo sheego waxba aan soo sheegnay oo meel hadhoodi aan ka galaysid male ileen maanta oo dhan ma taagnaan kartid ma dhihi kartid aniga hadalkan kuma hadlin because shaqaan noo taala anaga waa shaqaynoynaa idinka idin difaacoynaa waddankaanaan difaacoynaa sharciyo aan suubinoynaa maanta oo dhan kuma soo taagnaan karno videogaaneyti aniga hadalkaan ma dhihin maanta oo dhan meel nala taagnaan karno taas idinka idin taala inaadan soo dhawaysanin dadkaas maalin ilaahay keeno ka shaqaynaya sida Soomaalida waddankan ku nool ay wax ku noqoneen.
Now, I know that was in Somalian, but I hope you guys read what she was saying. I mean, she was saying some pretty harsh stuff. And I was thinking about how so many blacks are coming out and calling FBA divisive. But wait.
So far from being divisive. And it's not to separate ourselves from anybody. It's to distinguish ourselves. Just like y'all distinguish yourselves in y'all country, y'all are an ethnic group. Y'all make that shit known. You know what I'm saying? No, I am Nigerian. No, I am Ghanaian. Don't you dare call me a Nigerian. I'm Ghanaian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, y'all make it make sense now. But then you come over here, y'all know we was called African Americans. Okay, now we got actual Africans coming to America saying, hell, I'm African American.
And see, this young lady makes a very, interesting point, a point that I've been arguing in some of my change and stances in what I will call modern Pan-Africanism or neo-Pan-Africanism. See, Black Americans are called divisive when you want to be known as #FBA. But I know this for a fact. And I have a really good Somalian friend. I just saw him not too long ago. He's from Australia, but he's pretty liberal. But Somalians, like Eritreans, Ethiopians, those on the Horn, they typically operate in, very standoffish or independent clans or communities. They're nice people, obviously, but they're not integrating so much. When they're in Minnesota, maybe the younger ones integrate, but the Somalians in Minnesota, they're hanging out with each other. They have their own businesses. They have their own malls, okay? When they are saying that we want power in Minnesota, nobody has anything to say about that. When Black Americans say, #FBA, we want the same rights that Somalians can say, or we want the same rights that Ghanaian Americans can claim, or #Jamaicans or #Haitians. Oh, now you're being divisive. And see, when it comes to Pan-Africanism, you want to be honest? How can you have Pan-Africanism when you have the Somalians in Minnesota that, if this is their ideology, well, number one, the problem is they're split into two camps. So you have tribalism within that camp, all right? And then within that camp, you're gonna have that tribalism, and that's not gonna come out to integrate with other blacks, in the area, all right? There is no working with the Black American community or other blacks for the most part, because that's not how their community runs. It's the same thing with the Eritreans, the same thing with Ethiopians, the same thing with those from Djibouti, all right? You want to force the Black American diaspora to accept everybody else when clearly here's evidence of this particular group not accepting everybody else. They have an issue at this point accepting themselves, and now this has become a big beef. Here is the reality of Pan-Africanism in the modern day, and it's something that needs to be just accepted. Other groups are not going to adopt to Pan-Africanism. They're not. They don't adopt to it in America for the most part. They don't adopt to it when they're in other countries as immigrants or as refugees in other parts of Africa, all right? It is something that we need to accept. And if that's how they're gonna act and behave, that's fine. I understand they want to protect their culture. They have a religion, they have clans, okay? But then you shouldn't come after Black Americans for wanting to do the same thing, all right? If they're gonna do the same thing, then it shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't have anything to say about #FBA. You shouldn't have anything to say about #ADOS. You shouldn't have anything to say about #FreeMen. Because I can tell you one thing, if Black Americans were to go to Somalia or Eritrea or Ethiopia, and a Black American would be able to run for the mayor of Addis Ababa, it would never happen. I don't care if that person was citizen or not, it would never happen. He would never get that close to win. And then imagine that person is in Ethiopia or in Eritrea or in Somalia or in Djibouti speaking in English to his crowd about how they want to get more power in the country, and there's a clan split, they would run you out of the country. You would not even be allowed to be there, all right? And that's the beauty about America, whether you like it or not. The reality is that these particular groups, especially on the Horn, they operate in a certain way, and that's fine. But understand that other people want to operate too, because why? Why join forces with another group who they don't want to integrate? When it comes to you, for the most part, that's a lot of Africans. A lot of Africans are stuck on some of this tribalism stuff. Many are. Do you have many who are not? But you have many who are, all right? And for those who are, then I feel like let them be stuck. But don't try to force it, because the only way you can get some kind of cohesion or any kind of value in groups is to understand that other groups need to be respected and must be led with value and not Pan-African Disney movie type shit. It's the only way, okay? When the Somalians are in Minnesota doing very well, building up their communities, they're doing it by building up goodwill and value. Same thing with the Eritreans. I'm here in Uganda. I know a few of them. It's all goodwill, good value, honest, and merit-based work, okay? If there's ever going to be Pan-Africanism, it cannot be associated with anything that's a scam based on, oh, come back to Africa, they love you here, this is your home. That is not true, okay? Because when you encounter a lot of people from Africa in the States, especially first or second generation born, okay? But especially the first generation, we're not the same. People look out for themselves. The Somalian community, and this woman, Ilhan Omar, she's married to a white man. Imagine talking like this and you married to a white man. First of all, in the Black American community, honey, you would never be able to talk like that to the Black community with a white husband. It's automatically, in my honest opinion, it is a hypocrisy. And I'm just saying, for your people to sit there and accept what you're saying as something that's logical, when you divorce somebody from your own community and went and married white zaddy, they should have actually looked at you as somebody who shouldn't have as strong as a voice, because automatically you're against the community. And I'm not trying to say it because it's interracial marriage, but you're complaining about the community being dispersed, and you disperse the community. You a walking hypocrite. If you wanted your community to have power, why are you not exercising in the same vein as the rest of the folks in your community? And again, it's hypocritical to tell Black Americans to participate in Pan-Africanism when other groups are participating in tribalism. They bring in a tribalism all the way back from where they from to the new places. It's ridiculous. Call these other groups out too, okay? And these other groups, oh yeah, they don't have their drama out in the public. Bull. They got this one out there in the public, don't they? Yeah, everybody can see it. And I'm commenting on it. And again, this is no shade to Somalians or Eritreans or anybody else or those Nigerians, whoever the community is. But just to let you know, these problems are ongoing. They've been ongoing for years. And so to expect that other people are going to just work with you in the Black community, in the Black diaspora, and achieve this Pan-African dream is just nonsense. And we need to just call that out. Pan-Africanism must be built on meritocracy and value, not on make-believe. Because again, once they get to Minnesota, they get to North Dakota, these places, it's individual group thinking. That's what you're gonna see. They get in their small enclaves, they do their thing, especially those on the Horn. They don't integrate with other people for the most part, and that's how they like to do it. Meanwhile, FBA and people like that are the problem, because they're like colonialists. Well, if you want to talk about colonialism, seemed like what she was saying to me is they wanted more power in Minnesota. More power to do what? That's my question. Now, let Black Americans have that same attitude coming into Ghana and see how they get treated, or any other place. No African country could even accept that, no matter how much you spend there. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Heard the bell. We're out.